one or the other. It's just I don't like that aspect.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's hilarious. I never even thought about that.
There's a couple
My
things
God.
missing from Kawaki, like the fact that he doesn't have Byakugan. And the weird thing about it is like it's with Boruto, right? Boruto's explains that his data is extracted, or Momoshiki used the rest of Boruto's data to convert himself into 100% Otsutsuki. So that way Boruto's base is 100% Otsutsuki. Kawaki's base is supposedly at this point 100% Otsutsuki as well. But that makes no sense because Kawaki's getting like completely dunked on by like everybody, right? With a base that is supposedly Otsutsuki tier. And then Boruto's doing the complete opposite. It's like Boruto. It doesn't really make sense, to be honest. It's
So
Well, here's okay. I think this actually substantiates my genetics argument, the dirty G word. I hate that
oh
argument around here.
god, no.
I think this works for me because hear me out. So, do you think Jigen had access to the Byakugan? Hypothetically, if Ishiki wanted to, could he use the Byakugan in Jigen's body? I'm going with the answer of no, because he doesn't have the Kekkei Genkai. He doesn't have the bloodline. That's a normal eye. It doesn't matter if he has Ishiki's data. He doesn't have a Byakugan eye to have that data matter to use the Byakugan.
Well, I
But
don't think that
isn't,
makes
like-
sense though, because Jigen. So
Yeah.
this is another side tangent I was gonna bring up. What is up with Jigen's karma? Not only is it the only one on the chin, it spreads to both sides, unlike all the other users. And Jigen has, albeit not a complete version, but he has Ishiki's eye in both eyes, even though Ishiki doesn't have that, and Kawaki can't do that. Why does Jigen? Because and he does, by the way. I can pull up manga panels if you want. He gets 1 to 2 triangles max. He only uses Sukuna Hikona, so he never gets more. But he has Ishiki's eye in both eyes.
Based on what we just learned about the Rinnegan, it makes sense that he wouldn't use it in both eyes, and that he would have one Byakugan, one Dokugan, or whatever people are calling it now. Because apparently, with the Rinnegan, apparently, having one Rinnegan and one Sharingan just gives you both powers, and that's just better than having both Rinnegan, apparently. So you just need one of each eye to get both powers, I guess. I don't know. Weird. So it makes sense that he would have both in this case. It just gives him better ability in general, I guess. But yeah, it's weird.
If you want to look at my screen real quick, just in case anyone doubts me, on this left page here, you can clearly see the 2 triangles here. And even a thing in the center, like, and it's in both eyes. Like, and this is him using, like,
because
he's got the
his karma still is extracted to 100%. It's been 100% for a while. So I would definitely say that his eye isn't a genetic thing. It's more of an ability thing, just for the sake of my argument. It's not like it's a Kekkei Genkai. I don't think you can transfer that eye in the same way, which is how maybe Kawaki is able to use it in the first place, because Kawaki wasn't born with that eye either, just like the Byakugan, but he's not able to use the Byakugan, but he is able to use the Kokugan. So I think it's consistent with mine.
No, because like I don't think that matters, because for example, Boruto doesn't have the Byakugan. He has the Jogan, but Momoshiki just pulls out the Byakugan.
No, but Boruto's different because he is Hyuga.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a Byakugan. I don't think this matters.
But he could awaken it. That's what matters. It's just like Himawari. She didn't have the Byakugan until she did.
Well, we don't. Well, okay, to be fair, we don't know for sure Boruto can. I will say that. But
of course he can. He just hasn't awakened it yet.
No, we don't know if he can awaken it. That's not inherently true. He might be able to.
Again, it's just like Himawari. She didn't awaken it until she did.
And all members of the Hyuga bloodline
but our point is Himawari did it at 3 years old, and Boruto has never done it, so we don't know that he can. Like, it's possible he can, but you can't just say that he can, because you don't know that.
Though it is possible, because even if he goes this entire life without doing it.
No, it's possible that he can, but you don't know for certain that he can. It might be impossible. Of course he can. Why is it of course he can?
Even if he goes his entire life without doing it, he could have still done it. He just didn't do it.
Yeah, but we don't know if it is possible. It could be impossible for him. We don't know.
I don't think that's true, because he was born with the Kekkei Genkai. He's born with the Hyuga.
You don't know that he was born with the Kekkei Genkai, though.
He has their blood.
That doesn't mean he's born with the Kekkei Genkai.
Just like how members of the Uchiha clan don't always awaken the Sharingan.
Yeah, but they
I'm pretty
can.
sure it's the same for the
No,
Hyuga.
some of them might not be able to. You don't know if they can.
I'm pretty sure like it's stating that they just like can't. Like it's
They stated that they don't. That not all of them do. But they have the information of the Sharingan.
Yeah, but Oodie, for another example, I'll give you the most extreme one. Kimimara's Kaguya clan. Kimimaro was the only one who could do it. Not everyone had the
The only one who awakened it. The only one who awakened it.
But that doesn't mean they all could have awakened it. You don't know if they could or not.
They have the information. They can pass it down. If Boruto has a child, even if Boruto can't do
Oodie,
it, maybe his son can.
I do not want to have the recessive inheritance discussion with you, with Kitomaki. But just because you have an allele for it, doesn't mean you will have the trait. So if it is a recessive inheritance type of thing, Kimimaro could have been the only one to have been homozygous recessive, while every other person just happened to be heterozygous and pass it down without having it. So they could never.
But that doesn't work with.
Well, you don't know.
That doesn't work with the Naruto genetics. With the Naruto genetics that are separate from human genetics, from real life genetics.
No, but
where apparently inbreeding is just fine in Naruto.
Yes, but like again, the point is, I'm not saying it's either or. What I'm saying is you can't say with 100% certainty that Boruto can awaken the Byakugan, or if Kimimaro's dad could have awakened the bone ability or not. You don't know if they could have or not. That's all.
I think I can.
Okay, that's what you think. You said you think. Perfect. Moving on.
Okay. Yeah, all right, perfect.
What were we talking about before?
I have no fucking clue.
Oh, right, the eye thing. So, yeah, no, I feel like I don't think that matters in this case because the whole point is the Karma Seals overriding their genetics. So, quite frankly, Kawaki should just have Byakugan genetics now for the most part. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he should.
But it doesn't have a Byakugan eye.
I know that's fucking
like
weird. It doesn't make sense. I don't like. So this is getting into the tangent. I don't like. I understand why they've done what they've done, and they've used this for plot points. But I don't like the fact that, on one hand, it's overwriting the genetics, and nothing actually changes about them visually, for one thing. And second, they can, on one hand, use Sasuke things, but not Ishiki things, even though Kawaki is Ishiki specifically. It should, and then, but then at 100%, you click the button and you can just overwrite everything. The way I think it should be is just the karma, that you have two options. Either it is a gradual change, and Kawaki at this point, basically make him look like Kawaki with the horn at all times. He would just be walking around with the horn, looks like Ishiki and Kawaki. Or nothing happens at all until 100%. So basically, the karma seal would slowly open up, just like Kurama when his seal. And then once it hits 100%, then they can overwrite everything all at once. Basically like Kurama breaking out of the seal. Either or, not what they're doing. Because they're taking this middle ground that, while I understand what they're doing with it, it doesn't actually make any sense.
Here's my 2 cents on the appearance of like the Otsutsuki. I'm fairly certain, I would bet money that they actually wanted to make Kawaki and Boruto have the appearance of Otsutsuki's like 24/7. But the issue with that is that obviously back in fucking, what was it, 2016, 2017, when the early drafts of Boruto came out and Kodachi or whoever the fuck it was, Kishimoto was writing in, whispering in the author's ear, he was like, oh, okay, the first scene should be this. And, you know, the designs weren't even finalized at that point. So we have like these two characters who that like, now we have to stick to these designs, right? It's the same reason why freaking the karma designs, I'm pretty sure, in that scene aren't the same as the karma designs that like we have for the Boruto and Kawaki characters right now. Like there's just so many things that just kind of stunted what they can do in terms of appearance for both Boruto and Kawaki, just because they have to match up to that future scene. It wouldn't really make sense for them to gain like the horn and the white hair or whatever it is, and then just kind of like go back to looking like themselves. I don't know.
But I disagree because, like you said, the designs weren't finalized, and they've made that public information that the designs can change.
Sure.
So they weren't stuck to those designs.
I think it would be like too big of a change at that point. I don't know.
Yeah, which I can understand, but in that case, you can just go with the Kurama version to where it's only when the seal's being used, it overlays your body, they get the changes, then it goes back to normal. When they're not using it, just like with Naruto, if he's not using Kurama's chakra, he's not using Kurama's power. There's no benefits
that's
unless
valid.
it's being used. Now, of course, in Naruto's case, the seal has a mechanic so that there's always a little bit going on, blah, blah, blah. But in that wouldn't apply to the Karma Seal. So in base, Boruto would get 0 benefit from the Karma Seal. Kawaki would not be able to fly without using Karma. He wouldn't be able to master chakra signature without using Karma, and so on. I think that would make more sense. Or you do the other version, which is where they get the white skin and shit. But even then, I think you could skip the white skin and honestly just stick to the horn. And I would be okay with that if it was just the horn as the one visual thing. At least it's something. And you would indicate that they're always Ishiki. Like Kawaki would always be Ishiki at all times. Well, 80% anyway, you get the point.
Because they made that public that the designs are going to change, I think that's all the more reason to say that because they don't look like Otsutsuki, that's an intentional thing that they're doing, that they're not supposed to look like Otsutsuki. So the data is overlaid into them. I think the data is just in the karma, and the karma is just compressed, and it doesn't uncompress until it's 100%. So I think it's fine to say that their visual appearance doesn't change. And this goes along the idea of my eye thing, because like Ao isn't Hyuga, but Ao could use the Byakugan. Why? Because it's about the eye, not about the genetics.
Yeah, but Kawaki can use Ishiki's eye.
I don't think his eye is a bloodline ability.
Either way, okay, but what do you think the eye is, first of all?
The Koku God. Doesn't answer your question at all.
The black eye.
Again,
it could be similar to like maybe what Kurenai does, to where her eye looks weird and she has genjutsu. I don't think her genjutsu is linked to her eye though, but like that's just like a hypothetical example. To where it's just like something that anyone can do.
I mean, Kawaki's eye is just a dojutsu.
Yeah, it's definitely
like the
a dojutsu.
Rinnegan. It's just a dojutsu. Nothing more to it.
I think dojutsus like the Kokugan and the Senrigan, which Ada have, are kind of like different, and they're probably going to be explored later on, like later in the story, for sure. Because like these are kind of like weird eyes that aren't really like, because you know how like on Earth or whatever in the Naruto world, like most are derivatives of the Rinnegan or Sharingan or like some sort of like they're all like some sort of like family. But then you have like the Senrigan and the Kokugan, which are just like kind of out of left field, and they just don't really match with any other.
Something you could say is rather than a genetic eye or bloodline eye, it's a chakra eye. So it's Ishiki's chakra that would let Kawaki do this. The problem with that though is Kawaki can use it in base and without using karma, and well, he should just have the eye at all times then because he can do it in base. Like, so it doesn't really make sense either way.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say Kawaki doesn't have access to the Byakugan in Two Blue Vortex because he's been in positions to where he absolutely would use it if he could. Like he's been flying, just like looking in the forest trying to track down Boruto. Yeah, but he does have access to the Kokugan. So I think it's because he wasn't born with Byakugan, just like Jigen, so they can't use Byakugan.